name is Teresa Campbell and I have Xolos. I originally started in dogs back in the middle 80s and I had Cocker Spaniels, the American Cocker Spaniel. That is the total opposite of a Xolo, but that's where I began. And then in the 90s I saw a Chinese crested at a show and had to have it. So I started with Chinese cresteds, had hairless and powder puffs. Learned a lot about them. And while I was learning, I found out about the Xolos in some of my research. The Xolos were a long ways away from being in conformation, which is what I was doing with my dogs. So I just kept in touch with different breeders and went to their nationals and kept following them. They captured my heart. Once I got them in 2005, I've been in them ever since. And I've been very active and trying to preserve the breed. That's my main focus, is preservation of this breed. They've been around for 5,000 years and I want to honor that. My participation in AKC is in the conformation ring. We do conformation to a standard, so every breed has a written standard. We're showing them in the conformation ring to confirm that they actually are in the line with what we say they should be. So that when you see a dog on the street, whether it be a Cocker Spaniel or a Xolo Squintly, then you can recognize what that is. And there is a list of details that make that dog that breed. I participate by being active in the club, the parent club, as well as any other AKC all-breed club. And I also am in my club active in the Health and Genetics Committee. I also have been the vice president of the Xolo Squintly Club for many years. I actually am currently the educator for judges education, which is very important to me to help the judges to learn what it is that makes a Xolo and what the important aspects are so that they can evaluate them accordingly in the ring for their championship. I also do the judges education for the Chinese crested. Being a breeder for several years, that means that I have had the opportunity to have many top winning dogs, whether it's in the United States as well as the UK. And that is something to be very proud of, and I have a team to thank for that. Dreamstar started back when I was in Chinese cresteds as a dream to be as high as the stars. So that's where the name came from. I actually have some friends that also love the breed, and working together just evolved into being a team. We love the breed and we love promoting the breed and we love teaching people about the breed and how awesome this breed is. We want them to also be able to enjoy them as much as we do. So those are our goals as far as why we became a team. Our goals happen to cross over into the ring, and we happen to excel at having many champions a year, top winning dogs for many years in a row, top 10 for the last probably 7 years. I've had the top 3. I've had the #1 dog in the nation. I've had breed winner at Crufts, have had breed winner at the Philadelphia Kennel Club show, had a veteran that has won at Westminster. And so those things are what create our drive to continue. It's not only conformation that we focus on. We want to focus on all of the attributes that this breed can offer to people. And that takes a team to do that. In order to get that across, everybody can say it in a different way. So Jose Miguel Sanchez and Whitney Meeks are my partners in this endeavor, and without them, we couldn't have achieved as many of the high goals and high achievements that we have. So I'm very proud of that. With my team members, that allows us to focus on really being specific in what we want to do for this breed and our breeding program. So we can really focus on certain things, and one of those things that's extremely important to us, of course, is the preservation of this breed. And in order to keep that preservation very high on our priorities, we want to have great temperaments, because they need to have that great temperament to live in a pet home, as well as they need that great temperament to do the things that we do here in conformation or agility or obedience. Because they're not all meant to be a conformation dog. They don't all love it, and so they need to have a temperament that goes across all of those venues to be able to live at home with someone, and temperament is extremely important for this breed. They get a bad rap, and we are trying to eliminate that, because they wouldn't have survived for 5,000 years if they didn't have this wonderful temperament. And so as breeders, we're being very responsible, making certain that we're not overpopulating the breed. Doing that, we usually have between 1, 2, at most 3 litters a year. And that really is something that we don't want to have litter after litter after litter. We're not breeding the females over and over and over. They get bred twice, maybe a third time. If they really did well and had great temperaments that they are giving us, we might choose to breed the females a third time. So that's not a focus for us as far as numbers. Our focus is quality, and the quality that makes a Xolo a Xolo. So temperament is, of course, number one. We want them to be health sound, so we do our health testing, and that includes hips as well as hearts. If they don't pass that testing, then of course they're not bred. They cannot complete that testing until they're at least 2 years old, and then they get that testing. Even if they've become a champion and they're beautiful and that testing did not turn out, then that dog is not used in our breeding program. And they get to live their life on a couch, which is what we want them to ultimately be anyway. A breeding program is not about breeding more and more and more. It's about quality that you breed. And the temperament, the perception of the outline, the silhouette, everything that makes a Xolo is what we're focusing on. People ask, why do you do the conformation? Our standard is like a puzzle, and all of these pieces fit together to create a dog that is very able to do its job, form and function, and it's going to be a healthy dog. So that those pieces create a healthy dog that we're trying to put together and attain the essence of what a Xolo really is. We have a standard that AKC has written that tells us what our head should look like, what our body should look like, what our legs, distance between the first and second shoulder, the first and second thigh, how our hocks should look. So we have all of these standards that we need to meet. So whenever we're in the ring doing conformation and attaining our championship, we're getting an opinion from other people that have had many years in the breed, telling us that yes, your dog has these qualities that are creating a healthy dog, a dog that is going to be able to do its job if it were 500 years ago, as well as today. And there are people that will ask me, so why don't I just breed my dog without a championship? And the reason would be because you're not certain that your dog is actually meeting all of that criteria. If you're not showing the dog in conformation and getting a confirmation, which is what that word is for, that all of those puzzle pieces are fitting together to create what is truly a Xolo, then you may not have a healthy dog in the end. You may be breeding a dog that has bad hips, clearly, or you may be breeding a dog that isn't able to move, and the reason for that is because it has shoulders that are not placed correctly, and it's now going to have arthritis early, and it's going to be in pain later in life. So we have certain reasons of why we're trying to breed to those standards, and it's for the dog's health in the end. It's not just because we want to be pretty and run around the ring. It truly is for their health. We have, a length of head and muzzle, and that's for them to be healthy as well, because they need to be able to eat, they need to be able to chew bones, they need to have a nice rib cage so that they can breathe if they're out running in the yard. If you don't have those things, then you're not going to have a healthy dog. And so those are the things that we're trying to make sure that we're doing in breeding a healthy animal. That also leads me into kind of what I touched on earlier. We may get a dog that we do get a championship on, and then decide, okay, we got it because it was not quite 2 years old yet. It finished really early, finishing meaning it got its championship very early, and then now we take it and do not breed it just because it's a champion. We wait until we get the health testing, and then the health testing doesn't turn out. So maybe their hips are poor. Maybe they have a heart murmur that they have developed as a 18-month-old dog. So there's things like that that can come into play, and that's why we wait until they're 2 years old until we do that health testing. And that's why we don't breed them until after that health testing comes back as all clear. And even if it's a champion dog, and even if we got the health testing, we still may not breed it. We may decide that it doesn't have the temperament for it, and we don't want that temperament to be passed on to the puppies. Later in age, sometimes they may decide they did not come out of the fear period as a puppy, and they continued with that fearfulness of people or strange things or loud noises or storms. And that's not something that we want to pass on to the next generation. We don't want to pass that along to someone that is going to want a lovely pet that they're stressing about how their animal is at home during the storm when they're at work. So it's tiny things like that that we really try to think about in our breeding program and try to think ahead so that it's not just a last minute, we're just breeding dogs to have dogs. We really try to think about the dog's life after it's born and how it's going to match with someone, and how that particular dog in the litter sometimes may be very laid back, very chill, like this little girl. You may have another one that is just wild and constantly into everything and touching and feeling and nose bumping. And so we want to match the right dog with the right home. I don't want to place a dog that is going to be really busy with somebody that is disabled, for instance. That's not going to be a good match. That's not fun for the dog because it's going to always be getting reprimanded because it's too busy. It's not going to be able to go and do things because it wants to enjoy and investigate. It's not a good match for the person. The person is, trying to relax and be calm, and they're constantly having to check on the dog. So we're going to place that dog with somebody that's active, that likes to run, perhaps ride their bike. They like to go out to restaurants and bring their dog with them. So we want to make sure that we get the right placement. And in that, as a team, we have like a questionnaire that we have people fill out. I get people that just contact me randomly, whether it's, my sister, I'm at work, people know that I have them. My sister's looking for something like that. My friend has allergies. The breed is good for people with allergies as a general rule for obvious reasons. You don't have a lot of dander, but some people still are allergic to the breed, so you can't just assume that 100%. And we discuss that with people and make sure that that's a good fit. And what type of allergy do you have? What exactly do you think your allergy is to? Is it saliva? If it's saliva, there's not going to be any dog that's probably a good mix for you. But if it is dander, then this breed might be a possibility for you. So we can do different things to try to help you to figure that out. We also, I call the people, of course, after they fill the questionnaire out. I speak to them on the phone. I have them give me references. If they have other pets, that's also how we try to make sure that we match the right animal. Do you have other pets? Do you have small children? Do you have older people that live in your home with you, like multi-generational families? So there are many intricate pieces that we try to make sure that they get the right home, because we want everyone to be happy. And they are a pet first and foremost in our mind. They're not just another thing. It's not just another money, definitely not. They are not a money maker. They are a live being, and they are something that is very precious and should be held accountable, in that you should be held accountable to hold that very precious and dear to your heart. Having Dream Star team is not just myself, Jose Miguel, and Whitney. We also have Carlos, who is an intricate and absolutely necessary part of the team to help us. And he also helps take care of the dogs. He loves the dogs as much as we do. And my husband is also a big part of the team, but he may not be seen and heard. My daughter is a huge part of the team, of course, and is always there to help me with puppies and help to get the puppies in the world and help them to not chew everything up, teach them all their manners. And then, of course, the people that are in the breed in our club are very supportive for Dream Star. I do appreciate them, and I also appreciate Xolo Supply Company. They have done nothing but support the breed. They are all about making sure that this breed gets the recognition and the love that they deserve, and I can't say thank you enough to them.